Yoga Maya ki, Shati Tulsi Maharaj, Vrinda Devi ki, Gopishwar Mahadev ki, Yuvraj Tam ki, Jagannath Baladev, Subhadra Devi, Sudasan Sakta Purushottam Dan Tota Gopi Nath ki, Vashant Panchami ki, Vishnu Priya Devi, Avirbhava ki, so much Saraswati Puja ki, and Narasimha Bhagavan ki, Bhakta Pravar Prahlad Maharaj ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shitai Gaura Premanande.
Jai Jai. Sorry for the delay. I've had a bad cold the last few days. Lots of chest mucus, everything. So. Just a little better. Little Your torture device, you. Okay.
Waterboarding?
Native pot.
Waterboarding?
Yeah. On the floor, or you can sit on a comfortable cushion or chair as you like. Yeah, well, I mean, this is all the cushion here. Underneath this is all the cushion.
I have a little Ayurvedic medicine for your throat if you want to take it to try.
Is it like chewable or
Yeah,
what?
you put it under your tongue.
Okay.
This is Maharshi Ayurveda.
Only one?
It's very strong. You can have one.
No, I'm asking.
Yes, I want to
Is
see how
one
you take
enough
it.
or,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. I keep under the tongue.
Right. I know you said Jayadvani, but I'm not going to say the whole thing, but I'm just going to say parts of it, because I have to remember my gurus. It's okay. Jai Saparikar Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Jiu Ki Shishi Radha Madhava Jiu Ki Nitilila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitilila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaur Kishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhaum Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Charja Baladev Vidyabhusan Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Sadiya Tirubhav Mahamahotsav Titi Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Jai Shri Narottam Srinivas Yamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pada Ki Jai. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pad Avirbhav Mahamahotsav Titi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Gaur Parshada Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Antar Dweep Mayapur Simanta Dweep Godrum Dweep Madhya Dweep Kola Dweep Ritu Dweep Jana Dweep Modrum Dweep Ruda Dweep Atmaka Shishi Nava Dweep Dhamma Ki Jai. Jai Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dham Ki Jai. Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakrajiu Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Srina Shringadev Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charu Dham Charu Sampradaya Charu Acharya Ki Jai. Akara Matraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Or Ananya Shakamat Samuha Ki Jai. Shri Vishva Vaishnavarat Sabha Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Tribhuvana Pavana Harinam Sankirtana Ki Jai. Tribhuvana Mangala Harinama Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajana Ki Jai. Shri Pancha Tattva Ki Jai. Shri Vasanta Panchami Ki Jai. The first day of springtime, Vasanta Panchami Ki Jai. And the beginning of which rasa? Vasanti Ras. Krishna dances Vasanti, the springtime rasa dance. Where?
Govardhan.
At Govardhan, yes. Under Chandra Sarovara. So, Saraswati Puja Ki Jai. Which Saraswati? Yeah. Huh? What? You're saying Shuddha, you're saying Divya. We will conclude that. It will be nicely concluded. And also Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi Ki Jai. That's a very big one. Because she's on the top level. No one had as much devotion to Mahaprabhu as her. We'll hear about that. Today we have so many things to hear from Srila Gurudev. I just extracted like 3 major kathas covering all of these, most all of these personalities. Who else today? Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Appearance Day, Ki. And who is he? Vrishabhanu Maharaj. You can't get a much higher position than that. Because Srimati Radhika is never called, we don't refer to her practically at any time as Kirtida, the daughter of Kirtida. Why? Because Vrishabhanu Maharaj had so much, not that she didn't have, but he had so much more special affection for her. So she's Vrishabhanu Nandini. And the Pundarik Vidyanidhi is that very same personality. And it's very interesting the relationship that Mahaprabhu had with him. Then the big one, Raghunath Das Goswami, our Prayojan Tattva Acharya, his appearance day today. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the reappearance of Srila Rupa Goswami, his disappearance day today. Huh? Yes, Tirupati. Raghunandan Thakur, appearance day today, the son of Mukunda, who became the father of Mukunda. And there's another personality mentioned here, Srimad Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj, his disappearance day. Very exalted personalities. There's actually two of them on this day. So Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj has mentioned in his Katha. And that's what we got on the menu today. So we're going to Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jataha Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaudatishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutede Pradamami Hari Priye Jayatam Suruto Bangor Mama Mandamatergati Matsarva Swapadambo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasana Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prestalivi Sevyamano Smaram Sriman Rasarasarambhi Vamshiva Tatakstitaha Karsan Venu Sunair Gopir Gopinata Shri Eshtuna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We just sing short kirtan.
Споем короткий киртан.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda. Radhe 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 Govinda. Radhe 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 Govinda. Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda. Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda. Oh Radhe 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 Govinda. Oh Radhe 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 Govinda. Radhe 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 Govinda. Radhe 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 Govinda. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga. 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 Nitai 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 Gauranga. Nitai 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 Gauranga. Jaya Satchinandana Jaya Satchinandana. Jaya Satchinandana Jaya Satchinandana. Jaya Satchinandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Satchinandana Gaura Hari. Gaura 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 Hari. Gaura 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 Hari. Jaya Satchinandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Satchinandana Gaura Hari. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. 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 Sai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Sai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Astatarasata Sri Srila, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. And then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, and my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavas. So, today is a very important day. Because of why? Because so many important personalities have appeared or disappeared on this day and are worshipped on this day. So that's why this day becomes important. Otherwise, what we call important days are not really so important. The important thing in our life as a human being is to worship the Supreme Lord and to worship His pure devotees. That's the highest activity that we can perform. To worship Krishna, to worship Krishna's pure devotees. And then everything will be proper. Why? Because of sadhu sangha. If we worship Krishna's pure devotees, then our lives will be very, very auspicious. Srila Bhaktivigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj always used to say this on almost every single appearance and disappearance day. He would single out whose appearance or disappearance day that is or was. And then he would mention the glories of worshiping these personalities and hearing about them on their appearance and disappearance days. He would do that each time, almost. He wouldn't just immediately start talking about them, but he would talk about to worship them on their appearance or their disappearance days, not on a day before or the day after, but exactly on that titi. Why? Because they are offering very special obeisance, very special blessings on those days to those who remember them. And we should understand that these transcendental, exalted personalities are not bounded by time and space like we are. This is one thing that very clearly needs to be understood and then also realized. That these personalities they are not separated from us by time or space. They don't live in the realm of material time and space. They are beyond that. Where do they live? They live in the eternal reality, the eternal time, the eternal realm. And they're not limited. Everyone in this realm is limited by time and space. And our minds are also very subjected to the illusions which are caused by the material atmosphere, this inferior energy. But they're above the inferior energy. They're in the transcendental energy. They want to bring us there because that's where we belong. But now we're trapped here in the prison house of Durga, Maya Devi. We're trapped in her prison house because we forgot Krishna. Because we forgot our relationship with Krishna and we started to think that there's other more important relationships for us than with Krishna. And then we completely forgot that we even have a relationship with Krishna. So this is our plight. We have to admit this fact. If we don't admit this fact, we can't even begin from square one in terms of what? Real, true spiritual advancement. So we should know that we are conditioned souls and we need lots and lots of help. And once we know that, then we can sincerely call out for help, right? Now the next thing is to learn who to call out for help from. And there's no better personalities than the pure devotees of Krishna. Past, present, future. All these personalities are in that realm. So this is why we heard this quoted by one of the devotees the other day at our program, glorifying our beloved Gurudev on his appearance day. A verse written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in English. And it used to be somewhere near the samadhi of Srila Haridas Thakur. It was placed there at one point, but I'm not sure exactly where. It might have been in Bhakti Kutir, which is the property where Bhaktivinoda Thakur would live, right next to the samadhi of Haridas Thakur. At any rate, he wrote this to be placed next to the samadhi of Srila Haridas Thakur. So what is that verse? We've all heard it before. He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die. So if anybody says that, oh, this Vaishnava, he died at this time, and that Vaishnava, he died at that time. No, wrong word. They don't die. Actual Vaishnavas never die. There is no such thing as death. And in fact, that's the first teaching of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Isn't it? First teaching to Arjuna. Arjuna, never was there a time when you did not exist. Never was there a time when I did not exist. Never was there a time when all these kings here assembled on this battlefield did not exist. Nor in the future shall any of us cease to exist. So that's the first basic teaching. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur encapsulated this conception in his verse glorifying Haridas Thakur, and it can be applied to any of the pure devotees. What is he saying? He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die. And then he says, he reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in sound. You cannot say he died because he's still present in sound. Sound vibration. Then he says the Vaishnava dies to live. He dies to live, and living tries to spread the holy name around. So, this is the mood that we should always try to have, that all these divine personalities who lived in a previous time period, they're still absolutely available and living in sound vibration. Exactly, through their teachings, and we can meet them. I mentioned this the other day at our program. We can meet them. There is no question about it. We will meet them, because there's no other way to go to Goloka Vrindavan without meeting them first, who have come here to bring us there. Yes. So now today, the first thing I want to read is the appearance day of Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. Beautiful explanation here by Gurudev in his lecture. He says, today is also the birthday of Vishnu Priya Devi, the wife, the power, the energy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She is one of the manifestations of Srimati Radhika. She is especially a manifestation of Satyabhama. And she is the Supreme Lord's Bhu Shakti. She had great love and affection for Sachinandan Gaur Hari and was married to him for many years. But Mahaprabhu was always absorbed in Radha's mood, calling out, "Alas, Krishna! Alas, Krishna!" And he had no time to talk with her. And though they were in one family, in one house, he was always absorbed in the ecstasies of Srimati Radhika. And thus, he was sometimes falling down and rolling on the earth. Was Mahaprabhu doing that? When? No, but at what point in his life was he doing that? Was he doing that all throughout his childhood? No. Yes. After he went to Gaya, and then a great transformation began to happen in him. And he also met Sri Ishwara Puripad, who became his guru. And he began to enter into different moods and states that had not been seen outwardly in him. Although Gurudev said they were always there inside of him. But when he returned back from there, from Gaya, that's when the revelation of Mahaprabhu's real purpose in descending to this world and his ultimate purpose, that began to manifest. And it took the outward form of what? Ecstatic Harinam Sankirtan, where Mahaprabhu would crash to the ground, jump high. He would exhibit so many ecstatic symptoms. It's impossible to even describe, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur says. So, in this way, when he was married to the young teenage girl, Vishnu Priya Devi, then he was so absorbed in Krishna that she was in the background. Ordinarily nowadays, in so-called relationships in this world, a woman would not tolerate that. She's practically ignored. But did she? Of course she did. Because why? Because she's the external, she's the Shakti of Mahaprabhu. She exists for his purpose, whatever serves his purpose. You know, Srimati Radhika, her mood is completely revealed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sikshastakam. What is the last verse of Sikshastakam, the 8th shloka of Sikshastakam? What is being told there? You know? Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtu mam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yata tata va vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu saevana para. This mood that Mahaprabhu is expressing in the 8th slok of Sikshastakam is coming from Srimati Radhika. It is the complete revealing of what are her actual internal moods. So what does she say there in that verse? What is Mahaprabhu expressing? You can tell?
I know no one except Krishna is my Lord. If he handles me roughly by his embrace, or is not present before me, tramples me under his feet, or is engaged with others in front of me, I will always remain his Lord.
Can you repeat that once more?
I know no one except Krishna as my Lord. Even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He is my Lord birth after birth.
He is completely what? Free.
Free to do anything and everything.
But he is my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Unconditionally. So, Ashlishyava. That means he's not embracing me. Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtu mam. He trampled me under his feet. Padaratam pinashtu mam. Adarshanan marmahatam korotuva. That means to break my heart by not being present, by not giving me his darshan. How long did Srimati Radhika have to be without Krishna's darshan? Most of her life. So, adarshanan marmahatam kurotuva. He can also make me completely brokenhearted by not being present before me. Yata tata va vidadatu lampato. He is free, completely free, to do anything and everything. And he, although he is lampat, that's not a term of appreciation for someone. But she's using that term with great love and appreciation. That Krishna is like a cheater. He is lampat. But only he is my Lord, no one else. Ever. Unconditionally. Mat prananathas. He is my prananath. He is the Lord of my very existence, of my very life breath, my pran. And there is no one else. Saeva na paraha. There is no other than him. So Vishnupriya Devi is an expansion of Srimati Radhika. And she is the Shakti. So her life is like the highest demonstration. Now we're going to hear about her life. How she lived her life after Mahaprabhu took sannyas. But we're here, what caused Mahaprabhu to take sannyas? So now, it says, Gurudev is saying that she had great love and affection for Sri Sachinandan Gaur Hari and was married to him for many years. But Mahaprabhu was always absorbed in Radha's mood, calling out, "Oh Krishna, oh Krishna." And he had no time to talk with her. And though they were in one family and in one house, he was always absorbed in the ecstasies of Srimati Radhika, tasting her ecstasies. And thus he was sometimes falling down, sometimes rolling on the earth, sometimes crying, sometimes singing loudly like a mad person. So there's a quote being added here that in the stage of love of Godhead, in the stage of praying, the devotee is fixed in his vow as an eternal servant of the Lord, and he becomes very much attached to a particular name and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as his heart melts with ecstatic love, he laughs very loudly, or he cries, or he shouts. Sometimes he sings and dances like a madman, for he is indifferent to public opinion. This Bhagavatam quote is inserted here by Gurudev, because this is describing a person who has actually attained to the ecstatic stage of Krishna prema. And this is the outward symptoms that will be shown. Now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always acting in this way, continually weeping. If you want to develop love for Krishna, you will have to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you will have to always weep for Krishna. What's the formula Gurudev just gave? He said, if you want to develop love for Krishna, you will have to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you have to always weep for Krishna. Can we weep? Sure, we can weep. We all weep. But the question is, can we weep for Krishna? Can we or not? Maybe a few, little bit here and there, sometimes. Maybe. Maybe not. But these are the wages. These are the price that we'll have to pay. There is no other way. You know what Gurudev said once? He said, when you come into this line of doing Rupanuga Bhajan, Raganuga Bhajan, he said, you will have to have a solitary place where you stay. But no one can come and see you, or come in and see you. Because you will have to cry oceans of tears, and no one should see you crying. But you will have to do that. Oceans of tears. Because bhav bhakti, complete heart melting, you will have to do. We see that Mahaprabhu was weeping throughout his life from the beginning. And this increased further. This increased much further when he took sannyas. And when he left everything to go to Jagannath Puri, and it increased still further after he met Rai Ramananda. And although Vishnu Priya Devi was married to Mahaprabhu in his family life, he hardly ever spoke with her, especially when he returned from Gaya, where he took Harinam and Diksha initiation from his Gurudev, Sri Ishvara Puripad. His personality changed at that time. He was no longer known as Nimai Pandit. Now he became known as Bhavuk Nimai. No more Nimai Pandit. Bhavuk Nimai. What does that mean? Bhavuk. No, no. Yeah, bhav. Bhavuk means one who can taste ecstasy. Bhav. That's why in the third shloka of the Srimad Bhagavatam, one of our favorite shlokas, Nigamakalpataror Galitam Phalam. In that verse, Srila Vyasadeva is telling who are the persons who this Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for. Because this Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened tree of Vedic knowledge, the ripened fruit from the tree of Vedic knowledge. Nigamakalpataror Galitam Phalam. And Shukamukad, it has come from the mouth of Shukadev Goswami. Shukamukad Amrita Dravasam Yutam. The example is being given of fruit. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the Vedic knowledge. Galitam Phalam. But you know that when fruit is on a tree and it's growing to its final stages of being fully ripened, usually the parrot birds, they like to come and they like to use their beak and try to chew on this fruit, you see. And what happens as a result of a parrot using its beak to chew on the fruit? What happens to the fruit?
It gets sweeter.
Yes, we've heard this. It gets sweeter because something in the parrot's beak or the parrot's mouth causes some kind of reaction in the fruit that makes it even sweeter. So that's why Vyasadeva said, Shuka Mukad. Shuka means parrot, but Shuka also means Shukadev Goswami. Who is who? He's actually the parrot of Radhika, who is incarnated in Krishna Lila to give the Srimad Bhagavatam. Shuka Mukad Amrita Drava Samyutam. So because it has emanated from the mouth of Shukadev Goswami, it has become relishable juice, nectar, Drava Samyutam. So now Vyasadeva is inviting. He's saying, Pibata, Pibata. That means drink, drink. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasam Alayam. Drink this nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is pure liquid rasa. Muhuraho rasikai bhuvi bhavuka. In the last line, he says the word bhavuk. But he also says rasikai. He says, Muhuraho rasikai bhuvi bhavuka. Drink, O Rasik Vaishnavas. Drink, O Bhavuk Vaishnavas. Again and again and again. Drink this. You see. So, yes. So now, Mahaprabhu, when he came back from Gaya, so his personality changed at that time, and he was no longer known as Nimai Pandit, and now he became known as Bhavuk Nimai. That this became his only purpose, is to absorb himself in Krishna and chant Krishna Nam and exhibit all these ecstatic states. So, And who is Bhavuk Nimai? Nimai, who is always absorbed in his ecstatic moods of Krishna prema. Now, at this time, however, some of the inhabitants of Navadvip, especially the students and his former teachers in the schools, they became somewhat unfavorable towards him. And they wanted to control him. And Mahaprabhu thought, I came to give the supreme medicine for everyone's material disease, but these persons, they're quarreling with me. They also insult me. I should take sannyas, the renounced order of life, for then they will weep for me. So his taking of sannyas has different purposes. But Mahaprabhu understood, these are escaping from my network. I cannot allow them to escape. Because now they're ignorantly insulting me, which will cause them to become demoted, severely demoted in their spiritual progress. I cannot allow that to happen. Oh, I will take sannyas. Because in Vedic culture, a sannyasi is always, in proper Vedic culture, a sannyasi is always respected and honored by the general mass of people. And then he said, and therefore, when I do that, then all these persons here, they will weep from me. Did that happen? Oh yes. Guess where it happened? Right here, where we're sitting. Do you know where we're sitting? We're sitting in a section of Koladweep, which is where Mahaprabhu came after he had taken sannyas, and he came back again, trying to go to Vrindavan, but then he returned to Navadvip Dham for the final time. And lakhs of people came to see him. All the so-called students and the others who were insulting him and doing all of that, they understood that they had committed a grave offense. It describes in Chaitanya Bhagavat that the forests and the jungle area that was existing on these 9 islands at that time, people came from all directions, from hundreds of miles away even, because they heard Mahaprabhu has come back to Navadvip. And when they came back, it's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, the Ganga, the people trying to cross the Ganga. The Ganga was full of heads. You barely could see the water of the Ganga. It was just heads and heads and heads of people floating across the Ganga to come to see Mahaprabhu. Some of them were crippled. Some of them were blind even. And how did they float? Oh, they used whatever they could find, an overturned pot, holding onto it, some tree trunk, floating on that. Not one person drowned because they were being held up by Mahaprabhu. And they came. Not only that, but the forests, the jungles. The jungles became cleared by all the people. You know how a jungle is very thick and dense, and you have to use a machete to... But just because of the force of all the people coming through the jungles were cleared. That's how many people came to see Mahaprabhu. And when they came and they saw Mahaprabhu, it's indescribable what they felt. And how they were so overwhelmed by his beauty. And Mahaprabhu came out from the house and stood on the rooftop to give his darshan to all and his blessings to all. And everyone was just exhibiting ecstatic symptoms, weeping and crying. And he was giving prema to them. So, this is one of the reasons that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, to capture those persons. So on the day that he decided to take sannyas, on that day, Vishnu Priya Devi went to bathe in the Ganga. And while she was on the way there, she accidentally stubbed her toe on a stone. And it was injured and bleeding. That's what happened first when Vishnu Priya Devi went to the Ganga. And then, while she was in the midst of bathing there, another thing happened. The nose ring that she had received on her marriage day, and which is very auspicious for a wife, it fell in the Ganga. Her nose ring fell in the Ganga. And although she searched for it with great endeavor, she could not find it. She began to weep bitterly. Why are these things happening today? And later, when she returned home, Sachi Mata asked her, "Oh, my daughter, why are you weeping so?" And she replied, "Today I went to bathe in the Ganga. My foot was injured, and I lost the nose ring of my marriage day. I don't know what is to be my fate." Then her mother tried to console her. And although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had previously paid practically no attention to her, but that night, after taking some prasadam, he decorated her hair and he placed betel nuts in her mouth. That morning he had gone to visit and to meet with all his associates. He had procured some milk, and he had also gotten a loki vegetable from Sridhar, with whom he would always jokingly quarrel. And when he returned home in the evening, he told Sachi Mata, "Oh mother, please make lucky preparation from these, adding sugar, ghee, camphor, and other ingredients, and offer it to Lord Krishna." From the gourd, the loki, that Mahaprabhu had gotten that day. He later honored that prasadam, after which he entered the room of Vishnu Priya Devi like a luxurious person, in royal dress, as one would dress for a wedding ceremony. Then with love and affection, he asked her, "Oh, how are you?" He decorated her. He gave her a beautiful garland. He placed betel nuts in her mouth, and he engaged in loving conversation with her. Vishnupriya began thinking, what am I seeing? A hurricane light. You know, hurricane means kerosene lantern. In India, they know it they call it a hurricane lantern. So when a hurricane lantern, which burns kerosene, it burns brightly when it is just about to be extinguished, you know, when the kerosene is running out. She thought in her mind, what am I seeing? That when a kerosene lamp is about to burn out, what happens? It burns very brightly. It makes a sound, book, book, then tuck, and then it becomes dark. Then it's finished. I see now that my fate may be like this. Because why? Because what happened to her during the daytime? All these omens, everything, and now Mahaprabhu is treating her in this very special way, which he never would do. Oh my God, now she's thinking, I see now that my fate may be like this. And considering what happened this morning, seeing how he is decorating me so lavishly, giving me betel nuts, saying flattering words, My dear most beloved, he's saying, I wonder what is my fate. Why is he doing this? In the meantime, Yogamaya came and entered Vishnupriya's eyes in the form of sleepiness. She did not want to fall asleep, but by the power of Yogamaya, she was forced to do so. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glanced at her only once, and then he stood up to leave home and to take sannyas. Without giving up, Gurudev is telling us here, without giving up everything in this world, how can one love Lord Krishna totally? How? Without giving up everything in this world, how can anyone love Lord Krishna totally? If your love and affection is divided between many persons, situations, and objects, then how you can love Krishna? How can you love Krishna? We have seen this in India. Exalted devotees like Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, quickly they gave up their positions, their wealth, their reputation, their father, their mother, their wife, their children. Weeping for Krishna, they left their homes and they took sannyas. Not remembering their homes or families at all. And always remembering Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So when Mahaprabhu was coming out of his home, he saw his mother standing like a dried up statue with no tears in her eyes. Sachi Mata, no tears in her eyes. She couldn't even think of what to do. Air was coming and going from her nostrils. But she had no external consciousness at all. Because Mahaprabhu, by his power of Yogamaya, was controlling her. Mahaprabhu did parikrama of his mother 3 or 4 times. He touched her lotus feet and told her, Mother, I'm going to search for my beloved Krishna. Then in the middle of that cold and dark night, he jumped in the Ganga, calling out, "Oh Krishna!" And he came out on the other side of the river in Kantak Nagari. And there he went to see Keshav Bharati to take sannyas from him. And after accepting the sannyas order, Mahaprabhu, he went to Jagannath Puri, and from Puri, he returned to Navadvip on the way to Vrindavan. This is over a period of a few years. And while there, all the residents, they came from here and there by boat and other conveyances to see Sachinandan Gaur Hari. Even dogs and blind persons came, and Satimata also came. Everyone was present except Vishnupriya. Why was she not allowed to come? This is the symptom of love and affection for Krishna. If you will give up your dearmost object for Krishna, this is the symptom that you have some love and affection for him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this by his own example. And for this reason, Vishnupriya was not there. Everyone else was allowed to come, but she was not. Why? Why was she not allowed to come? Gurudev just explained it. because she was the dearmost object of Mahaprabhu's affection. So what was she doing? What was Vishnu Priya Devi doing? She was weeping continuously. She was more attached to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu than anyone else was. And she was more detached from worldly things than even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. She maintained her life by taking some grains of rice, one by one, and using them as counting beads, as she continually chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Every time she completed the utterance of these 16 words, she picked up one grain of rice and placed it on a pile. And also Gurudev has told, oh, here it is. She would wash the rice grains one by one with the water of her tears as she chanted until midday. And then she would cook that rice with some vegetables. And she would then give the bhog to Mother Sachi, who would offer it to her deity, Lord Narayan. And after that, she would eat very little of it. Remembering the pastimes of Sachinandana, her life was totally absorbed in Lord Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and she chanted Hare Krishna day and night. And after some time, Mahaprabhu somehow gave her a deity of himself, made from neem wood. And that deity is being worshipped in Navadvip up to the present day. Vishnu Priya used to worship that deity, weeping bitterly and talking with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he would also speak to her in the form of that deity. You know that deity? It's called Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. Some persons say that the original deity may have been taken, but this is a replica. But some persons also believe that that's the actual deity.
Where is that at?
Oh, just past the center, Paramatal, when you go on the rickshaw, Paramatal, and you go past on that main road that goes all the way through. And then it's a few turnings down from there on the left side. And you ask anybody, but Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, they'll all tell you.
Today they're decorating Rameshwara Mahaprabhu as Vishnu Priya.
Oh,
They decorate that deity today as Vishnu Priya.
did you go there?
No, I've been before.
Okay. Now Sachi Mata, she also remembered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always. She used to offer him prasadam and he used to come to her house and eat it. And although she thought his coming was only her imagination or only a vision, she thought like that. But he was bound to come. He was bound by the love and affection of Sachi Mata and Vishnu Priya Devi. Every day he would come. And she would think, am I imagining that my son has come? But actually he came. He would come every day. And later he told that to Sachi Mata. You think like this, that you're only imagining that I'm coming, but I'm telling you, my dear mother, I personally come every day. And I eat what you have cooked for me every day personally. So, if someone wants to serve Mahaprabhu or Radha Krishna, he must be like Vishnu Priya. She was more renounced than anyone else, including Mahaprabhu. he was renounced, but not like her. And also he was always surrounded by so many bhaktas who consoled him, but she had none to console her. So today is the birthday of Vishnu Priya, who is the embodiment of Prem Bhakti. She is Prem Bhakti itself. Vishnu Priya Devi Ki Jai. Now a person asks a question to Gurudev. Gurudev, you said Vishnu Priya Devi is Bhu Shakti. She is Bhu Shakti. So is she like Lakshmi? Gurudev, no. She is like Satyabhama. Another question. But we hear that Navadvip Dham is non-different from Braja. Gurudev, yes. Question. How can Satyabhama be in Vraj Leela? Gurudev answers, Radhika has come as Gadadhar Pandit. And Sri Sarup Damodar and Sri Roy Ramananda have come as Lalita and Vishaka. The associates of Nrsingadev, of Ramachandra, and all other incarnations have also come to Navadvip. Because Sachinandan Gaurahari includes all incarnations. All incarnations are within him. So Satyabhama may also come to Navadvip Leela and also have the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the question, is this also true in Svetadvip, Navadvip, that is in Goloka Vrindavan? Yes, they all can be there also. Everything exists in Krishna, as stated in the Vedanta Sutra. Viruddha dharmam tasmin nachitram. All mutually contradictory characteristics exist harmoniously in Lord Krishna's pastimes. And in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So, question. So we worship Vishnu Priya Devi and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the path of Archan, following the principles of Shravan Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. So we worship in a regulative way, in awe and in reverence. The Gurudev said, this is a question that he's asking. Are we worshiping in a regulative way, in awe and reverence, when we worship Vishnu Priya Devi and Mahaprabhu in the path of Archan? So then Srila Gurudev answers, yes, one serves Vishnu Priya Devi and Mahaprabhu in Archan Marg, the path of regulative worship. And he serves Gaur Gadadhar in Bhav Marg, that is, hearing, chanting, etc., in spontaneous love, following the footsteps of the gopis. So that completes Gurudev's presentation on Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. In order to encapsulate this, the subject matter of all the different personalities, I just want to read something very short from Srila Bhaktivigyan Bharati Maharaj in his Harikatha for this day, because he encapsulates it very nicely. So, he says, today is Vasanta Panchami. It is the beginning of the spring season. Now, there's a very much longer katha of Gurudev, which is just sublime, which I would also like to read. We will see how far we get. But he says, today is the beginning of the spring season. And from today onwards, they will stop offering warm clothes to Lord Jagannath. Did you know that? When do they start offering warm clothes to Jagannath? Odan Shasti, which is coming approximately when? What month? Is that in December? Okay. But it doesn't last very long in Puri. Because Vasanta Panchami is coming around the middle of February. So, up to this point, they started to offer warm clothing to Jagannath. But from this point on, they stopped offering warm clothes to Lord Jagannath because now it's becoming spring. Yes. So then he says, today also happens to be the appearance day of Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. Also of Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi, of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami and Sri Raghunandan Thakur, along with the celebration of Saraswati Puja. So, additionally, it is the disappearance day of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srimad Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and Srimad Bhakti Swarup Parvat Goswami Maharaj, who was born in Godrum, and who was told by Bhakti Vinod Thakur to take kartals and walk around in Godrum. That's him. Later he became the disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So it is also the annual festival of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Tejpur, Assam. Now, even if I limit myself to speak only 10 minutes on each person, it will take a lot of time. But first he's telling about Saraswati Puja. That's what I'm jumping over here for, because he summarizes it very simple and very nice. There are two types of Saraswati. And when you try to say what are the names of these two types, you didn't get it correctly. Not fully correctly. So, there are two types of Saraswati. Vidya Saraswati and Shuddha Saraswati. Vidya Saraswati is worshipped by materialists, upon whom she bestows, material education, PhDs, by which they remain attracted to the material world. That's what Vidya Saraswati gives. Whereas Shuddha Saraswati takes us who are trying to become transcendentalists. She takes us towards the Lord. So how can we understand this? All the scholars, all the great scholars, they were intimidated when Digvijay, Keshav Kashmiri Pandit, the undefeated champion of learning, arrived in Navadvip after triumphing over the entire country. That was their Olympic form of Olympics in those days, competition. So the scholars here in Navadvip, they all began to fret. What can we possibly utter in his staggering presence? So when Digvijay Pandit approached them in search of a worthy opponent, then they all unanimously recommended the name of Nimai Pandit, the teacher of Sanskrit grammar. So when Digvijay Pandit approached Nimai, he said, you know where he met him? On the banks of the Ganga, in the evening, before the sun was setting. And Mahaprabhu was sitting there with all of his students around him, and he also approached with all of his students and followers as they were walking along the bank. So when Digvijay Pandit approached Nimai, he said, I have heard you teach Kalpa Vyakaran. He said that to Nimai. So then Nimai Pandit humbly responded. He says, I only act as if I am teaching. But factually I cannot teach properly. Because when the students inquire, then I am incapable of clarifying their doubts adequately. So then Digvijay Pandit quipped, so you won't be able to understand Alankar Shastra. Then Nimai prompted, I don't understand it, but I have heard of it. But I am desirous of hearing from you the glories of Ganga. Kindly oblige. Then like a cyclone. Have you ever been in a cyclone? I have, in Jagannath Puri. Everything's bent over. Everything. In sight. You know. It's so powerful. Cyclone. So, just like a cyclone, the Digvijay Pandit instantly composed many shlokas in glorification of Ganga. And when he was done reciting, then Nimai, he chose a shloka from the middle of his composition. And then he asked him to consider the faults and the qualities of that particular shloka. The Digvijay Pandit affirmed, there are no faults in my composition. There are only qualities. You would not understand it anyway, he says to Nimai. Then Nimai said, this is the reason behind my inquiry. And then he pointed out a fault in his presentation where Digvijay had composed a term called Bhavani Bhartur. Nimai explained the word Bhavani. What does Bhavani mean? Bhavani means the wife, it implies the wife of Lord Shiva. But if someone says Bhavani Bhartu, it implies another husband of Bhavani. You understand? This is a very big mistake. Bhavani Bhartu, he wrote. You don't have to say Bhartu after Bhavani because it's already understood who her husband is. She's the wife of Lord Shiva. Right? But if you say Bhavani Bhartur, then it implies that there's another husband that Bhavani has. And so that is when it dawned upon Digvijay Pandit that he had met his match. Being unable to counter Nimai's critique, he became very anxious. So Nimai encouraged him. He said, at least you should mention the qualities of the shloka. And now the Digvijay, who was rendered utterly speechless, Digvijay Pandit could not do even that. And then Nimai then said, then go today, read the scriptures again, and we can discuss tomorrow. But Digvijay Pandit was not able to rest at all that night. And in a state of panic, he prayed to Saraswati Devi that I have conquered the whole of India, but I have lost to a mere child today. O Devi, I must have surely committed some offense. He's praying to his worshipable goddess, Saraswati. I must have surely committed some offense. And Saraswati Devi replied, oh, it was not an offense. I am Vidya Saraswati. I can defeat the material world, but that boy, he is my husband. And in front of him, I cannot speak. But you are so fortunate. The benefit of education is not in defeating others, rather it is in rendering devotional service unto Krishna's lotus feet. So you are fortunate that you received his darshan. Yes?
The name is not Vidya Saraswati. Vidya Saraswati. Vidya means how to do Ekadashi. It's not correct names. Vidya Ekadashi. Specifically.
Vidya. Vidya, not Vidya. Vidya. Knowledge. Vidya Saraswati. That was told in the beginning, where Srila Bharati Maharaj is explaining that there's two types, Vidya Saraswati and Shuddha Saraswati, okay? So that's why she just told to the Pandit, I'm Vidya Saraswati. I'm the wife of him, so I cannot stand in front of him.
In front of your husband.
Yeah. No. The point is that her identity is Shuddha Saraswati. But to him, she was Vidya Saraswati. And the Vidya Saraswati means who are worshipping Vidya Saraswati for material knowledge in the material world. But that same Saraswati could not stand in front of, because ultimately she's the expansion of Shuddha Saraswati. So she could not stand in that circumstance in front of her husband. So here, in a very interesting observation, after he had that dream and everything, of course he went to Mahaprabhu secretly. And then Mahaprabhu revealed his form to that Pandit. And he also gave the benediction to him that he would also be able to witness his pastimes. Now, Srila Bharati Maharaj is saying where this word Vidya Vadhu Jivanam, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam, is in the first verse of Sri Shikshastakam. So there's a phrase, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. You know that, right? Chaitudarpana Marjanam, like that. So in order to make fools like us to understand, so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, while elaborately explaining the first verse of the Shikshastakam, then he delineated Vidyavadhu Jivanam as being Vishuddha Vidya Vadhu Jivana Rupa. Vishuddha Vidya Vadhu Jivana Rupa. That's the meaning of Vidyavadhu Jivanam. Vidya Vadhu Jivanam means Vidya, Vishuddha Vidya Vadhu Jivana Rupa. The life of the bride. The life of the bride, because Vadhu means bride. The life of the bride of transcendental knowledge. So notice that he used the prefix Vishuddha while mentioning Vidya. So this is indicating that Shuddha Saraswati. It is indicating that Saraswati. So it is clear that there are two types of Saraswati. Yes. So, how nice to hear very wonderful clarifications on Shuddha Saraswati. But on this day, if we do not speak something with depth about Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, cannot be complete. Of course, we have to speak about each one of these personalities, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What's his glory?
Manifestation of Sri Rupa Goswami.
But what did he do as a manifestation of Rupa Goswami? What's his glory? Why is he called a manifestation of Sri Rupa Goswami? Because he protected the sampradaya that would have lost all of the real, true teachings of Rupa Goswami. He protected and he preserved the understanding of Parakya Rasa that was now disappearing. And even in Jaipur, in front of Radha Govindaji, now they were trying to remove Srimati Radharani from the altar next to Govindaji. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, how exalted is he? In the introduction to our Gurudev's, translation of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, there's such a beautiful little story there. That there were some very low-grade so-called brahmanas and pandits, and they had tremendous envy against Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And they conspired that they would kill him. And he was walking through a forest area, and then they hid. And after they saw him walk in a forest area, then they came out from the forest, and their objective was to go and approach him and to kill him. But when they came there, just moments after they saw him go through, the only thing they saw was a very young village, like a Vaishya cowherd girl they saw there. Very beautiful looking. And then what took place? You remember, Maharaj? What happened then?
They approached her and they said, where did this person go that was just here? She said, I don't know, I've been busy picking flowers for my son and I never saw it, you know. But then in front of their eyes, as I remember, she turned back into Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Yes.
They immediately paid
Oh.
for Tandalas.
Yes, they fell at his feet. So who is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? Eternal maidservant of Srimati Radhika, but also a manifestation of Rupa Goswami to save the whole sampradaya that was given by Mahaprabhu, that was given by the 6 Goswamis, only a couple of hundred years after, something like 250 years after Mahaprabhu's disappearance. And now major apasampradayas are starting out, and with a very grave danger, you know, of completely of this, the whole confidential truths simply disappearing that have been given by Rupa Goswami. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, such an incredible scholar, Gurudev, he loved Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He had such a special love for Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And, you know, his moods and the subject matters that he preached were so much interconnected with all the writings of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, with his commentary on 10th Canto, specifically his commentary. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote so many essential books. If we don't read them, we will not get the message. If we, coming a few hundred years after, do not read the books of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, we will not understand the teachings of the 6 Goswamis. We will not understand the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gauravani and everything. Because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given the full explanation of all the main literatures written by Rupa Goswami. For example, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He gave the Bindu, a drop of that ocean. And so essential to read that. You know, our Srila Prabhupada, he gave a summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It was necessary for him to give that, right? When? Right in the beginning. Right in the beginning, he had to give a summary study which he titled The Nectar of Devotion. Okay? And so, you know, Srila Prabhupada gave the entire book, but he gave a summary of it. But what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur did, not only with that book, but with Ujjvala Milamani, a major scripture, with Brihad Bhagavatamrita, even a much more voluminous major scripture by Sanatana Goswami, these 3 major literatures, he gave an overview. He gave, it's almost like a a study manual. Like, if you want to read that book, you have to study this manual. And it will teach you how to read that book, how to go into that book. You know? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was also the guru of Baladev Vijayabhushan, who was like the topmost scholar of that time. Baladev Vijayabhushan. And because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was, for some reason, not capable of coming there to Galta, where there was going to be a big debate, but in his place, he sent Baladev Vijayabhushan. And there, they were actually debating with pundits and scholars from different sampradayas also. And they were trying to accuse that those who follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Gaudiya sampradaya, that they're actually not a bona fide sampradaya. You know that? This was their accusation. That all these Chaitanya people, they're not a bona fide sampradaya. They don't have a bona fide sampradaya. Why? How could they accuse that?
Because they didn't have Vedanta Sutra commentary.
Because what?
Because they didn't have Vedanta Sutra Bhasya, like the other Sampradayas.
Right. Because there are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas that are accepted throughout all of India, that there are only 4. So, but did Mahaprabhu accept one of these 4? Yes, he did. He accepted the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. But these people were not even accepting, because then they said that, oh, for each one of these 4 Sampradayas, there is, by the Sampradaya Acharya, there is a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. You know, each one. If you go into our temple here, then when you circumambulate the deities, then on the top of the 4 pillars, those acharyas, there's a deity of each acharya there. And then if you can read, it doesn't say it in English, but if you can read the Bengali lettering, then it says, this is Madhvacharya. He's the acharya of such and such commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Who did that? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did that in his original temple in Chaitanya Mat. So Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj also followed that in his temple in Devananda Gaudiya Mat, and Gurudev followed it here by having the 4 Vaishnava Acharyas there. So you know, it's clearly understood that the sampradaya coming down from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is within the sampradaya of Madhvacharya and from the Brahmaji, from that line coming down from the top of the universe. So it certainly is a bona fide sampradaya. But they said, well, these Gaudiyas, they don't have their own commentary, so we can't accept them. There's some kind of branch off of the sampradaya. So that's not a small thing to write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. But what did Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu do? He wrote it in 1 week. In 1 week. And what did he name his commentary?
Govinda Bhashya.
Govinda Bhashya. You know what Bhashya means? Spoken by Govinda. Because he prayed to Govindaji there in Jaipur. And Govindaji wrote it through him. So that Govinda Bhashya commentary, it is the topmost commentary which answers all the other commentaries. Because there's Dvaitavad, Dvaita Advaitavad, Shuddha Advaitavad, and Vishishta Advaitavad. So there are 4 different ways of looking at a topic. In this case, it's the topic of oneness and difference. Dvaita, Advaita, and Dvaita. You know, and you know that in India you have the majority of people who are infected with Mayavad philosophy and so forth. They focus on oneness. Everything is one, one, one. Do we accept that? Of course we do. How you cannot accept that everything is one, in the sense that what? In the sense that everything has emanated from one source, and it's one energy that is expanded into all the different objects and so forth. But ultimately everything is one from that angle. See? But the impersonalists, they like to take this to the extreme limit. That we are all one, which means that we are all God, we are all the Supreme, and there's no need to worship anyone, you see. So Mahaprabhu also converted those kind of thinking people when he was on the planet. Major proponents of that philosophy. Like who? Prakashananda Saraswati, who was the guru of the gurus of that philosophy. And in Varanasi, he completely converted every single one of hundreds and hundreds of sannyasis who were there. And how did he do it? By speaking the essential true philosophy of Vedanta Sutra. And also, he exhibited to them this extraordinary effulgence. And they became like, look at him. Who is he? Because they had heard about this person named Chaitanya, who took sannyas in our Shankar Sampradaya. How dare he go around like a sentimentalist, you know, just singing and dancing and exhibiting all the emotions. They're criticizing him. And the devotees of Mahaprabhu could not tolerate to hear that criticism, so they requested him, please go there. Because they will all assemble there. Please go there, my Lord, and save them. So when he came in, he didn't act like one of them. That Om Namo Narayana, Narayan, you are Narayan, we are all Narayan. No, he didn't act like that. What did he do? In the place where everybody washes their feet, which is considered a very contaminated place, Mahaprabhu sat there. He didn't even enter into the room. But from there, they noticed him. And then Mahaprabhu showed them his effulgence. And then Prakashananda Saraswati came there, held his hand. Why are you sitting here? You should come and sit amongst us. Mahaprabhu came into the assembly. And then they asked him various questions. And that's a wonderful dialogue to hear, you know. But Mahaprabhu completely changed their hearts. And they were turned into Vaishnavas. And Mahaprabhu imbued prema into their hearts. And they began singing and dancing in ecstasy with Mahaprabhu's kirtan. Gaur Premanandi. So in this way, Baladev Vidyabhushan, he wrote Govinda Bhashya commentary, which took from the teachings of the other four Vaishnava acharyas. He took the essence of their teachings, and then he presented basically what Mahaprabhu presented to Prakashananda Saraswati, and also to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was also following the Mayavad philosophy. And how did that come down to Baladev Vidyabhushan? It came down through the disciplic succession. He had heard what Mahaprabhu had spoken. But Baladev Vidyabhushan was very, very great scholar. And it's said that his body was not very big. It was smaller. He was Bengali. And when he came into the assembly, they had all these big pundits and all that. But he sat there and completely defeated all of them. And he presented his Govinda Bhashya commentary, which told the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is the synthesis. You know, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. So this is the synthesis of what? Of Dvaita and Advaita. Of oneness and of difference. And what is it called? Achintya Bhed Abhed. Bhed and Abhed means that different and non-different. Bhed Abhed. So Achintya Bhed Abhed Tattva. The truth, the true principle of the absolute truth is that he's inconceivably one and different simultaneously with everything. So that is the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur sent him there, thus saving the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya and establishing it permanently for all time in the future as a bona fide Sampradaya. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and who are the other?
Pundarik Vidyanidhi.
Yeah, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Yes. And so, that one, I was just reading it recently in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. And I'm just going to summarize it very briefly, because I want to get to the final topic that I'll discuss is Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Gurudev will discuss it. You'll hear what Gurudev has to say, and it's heart-melting what Gurudev says about Raghunath Das Goswami. Very good advice for us. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi, you know, that so Mukunda one day said to Gadadhar, because Gadadhar had not taken initiation from anyone, but Mukunda and Gadadhar became very close friends. And then, so one day he said, Gadadhar, today I will take you to meet a wonderful Vaishnava. And then he took Gadadhar Pandit to meet Pundarik Vidyanidhi. But as they arrived, then Gadadhar Pandit, he became bewildered to find that Pundarik Vidyanidhi was reclining very comfortably on an ornate bed with its legs carved out of special inguli wood, holding a mattress as soft as milk. His eyes fell on the golden spittoons next to the bed. And those persons who didn't know him, they would consider him to be a prince, because everything around him, it gave the impression that he was a man of an easy and comfortable life, given to pleasure. So immediately a doubt arose in his mind of Gadadhar. Because Gadadhar was very renounced from his childhood. And a doubt arose in his mind, how can one be a Vaishnava if he is enjoying such opulent facilities? So perceiving the doubt in Gadadhar Pandit's mind, Mukunda quoted a shloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you know that shlok? Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigham sayapayayad apyasadvi lebe gatrim datri uchitam tatonyam kam vadayalum sharanam brajema. Who spoke that slok? Uddhav. Uddhav spoke that slok when he met who? On the road? Vidura. And Uddhav had just come from hearing from Krishna, the entire 11th canto. And now Krishna had left the planet. And Uddhav could not mention this at all. It is not possible for him to even say the words that Krishna has left the planet. But what did he do? He began reminiscing. He began recalling all the beautiful, sweet pastimes of Krishna in his childhood, in his boyhood, and all throughout his Vrindavan pastimes. And this shloka is recalling how merciful was this boy, actually a baby Krishna. How merciful was this baby Krishna that even a she-demon, Putana. And what did Putana usually do? She liked to drink. She was a witch. She was a Rakshashi. She was a demoness. And she liked to drink the blood of infant babies. She was so evil. But of course, there's a background behind every character, what they were in their previous life and how they ended up where they are, like this. I'm not going to go into all that. But anyway, Uddhava was saying that such a person who came to kill him, smearing poison on her breast, and she took the position of a mother by smearing poison on her breast and offering her breast. But did Krishna judge her by that? That she tried to kill me? No. He took her offering of her breast, that she came in the mood of a mother. So when he killed Putana by sucking out her life airs, and then her gigantic, huge, demoness form became manifest and crashed to the ground, and then what was her fate? Where did she go after this? Did she go to hell forever? No. Krishna awarded her a position in the spiritual world as a maidservant of the queens, that she could serve Krishna by offering her breast milk. You see? By offering her breast milk eternally for Krishna. Here, Uddhava is asking the question, Kamva dayalum sharanam vrajena? How can it ever be possible for me, ever, to take shelter of anyone other than this most merciful Krishna? This Krishna, who took a demoness and sent her to the highest position just because outwardly she came as a mother. So, that verse was repeated and sung in a beautiful way by Mukunda. And this Pundarik Vidyanidhi, sometimes called Premanidhi by Mahaprabhu. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi, as soon as he heard that verse, he was not focusing on, but he simply sang that verse, and then suddenly Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he began to exhibit very, very extreme symptoms of ecstasy. And he began weeping incessantly, an unprecedented flow of tears from his eyes, all the symptoms of ecstatic love like shivering, perspiration, losing consciousness, hair standing on end, loud shouting. Simultaneously, all these symptoms simultaneously manifested in his body. And he could not remain steady, and he fell to the ground. And he broke all the surrounding paraphernalia by the kicking of his feet. Nothing was spared. And what happened to the opulent pan container and the nicely prepared pan? What happened to the water pots that were used for drinking water? Where did the bed fall by the kick of his feet? Out of ecstatic love, he tore apart his opulent clothes with his two hands. And what happened to his opulently styled hair? As he rolled on the ground and he cried profusely, "O Krishna, O my Lord, O Krishna, O my life and soul, you have made my heart hard like wood or stone." And he lamented and cried loudly, "In your present incarnation, I have been deceived." And he fell to the ground and he rolled about so forcefully that everyone thought, have his bones been broken to pieces? He shivered so vigorously out of ecstatic love that even 10 men could not hold him still. Clothing, bedding, water pots, bowls, all other paraphernalia were smashed by the kicking of his feet. There was not a single item spared. After manifesting ecstatic symptoms for some time in this way, he remained there lying unconscious. That is a direct quote from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Srila Bharati Maharaj is saying this incident proves that Vaishnav Darshan is not obtained merely by observing the external appearance of a Vaishnava. Now, seeing all these ecstatic symptoms on the body of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, then Gadadhar Pandit, he realized that Pundarik Vidyanidhi was a great Vaishnava, and he worried. He became very worried that he had committed an offense against Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He resolved to accept Pundarik Vidyanidhi as his spiritual master, and thus to atone for his offense. So today is the appearance date of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who is he in Krishna Lila? He's Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And who is Gadadhar Pandit in Krishna Lila? Radharani herself. Radharani has come as Gadadhar. There is no difference. Gurudev said direct incarnation of Radharani is Gadadhar. So naturally, Gadadhar would be, it would be nicely arranged by Gaur Lila that he would take initiation and become the disciple of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So how beautiful all these pastimes. So Raghunath Das Goswami, I hope you're all able to hear this. Because, yes, there are other things to do, but on this day, this is the only thing to do. But we've pretty much summarized most. Raghunandan Thakur, you know that story. We spoke it the other day also. Raghunandan Thakur. So now Srila Gurudev is saying, today is also the birthday of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And if you want to become pure devotees, you will have to follow Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. If you want to become pure devotees. You want to follow, but you are weak. As Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj says, Mr. Dog, Mr. Hog, Mr. Pig. And some are like camels, or tigers, or bears. We must try to follow Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. He was wealthy. He was situated in a very high position. But he left everything for Krishna. And he continually cried, O Krishna, O Sachinandan Gaur Hari. Yes, coming. Amazon, coming. Hello. Coming. Okay? Yes. Yeah, just go. Okay, so we must try to follow Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. He was wealthy. He was the son of such wealthy zamindars, they would be considered multi, hundreds of millions of dollars millionaires in that status nowadays. But he was the only son. So, he was situated in such a high position. But what did Raghunath Das Goswami do? He left everything for Krishna, and he continually cried, O Krishna, O Sachinandan Gaur Hari. And by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, he quickly received the shelter of Mahaprabhu. Hardly eating anything, but somehow he maintained his life. And he went to Vrindavan after Mahaprabhu departed, and he lived at Radha Kunda. So, without the mercy of the Guru, you cannot have love and affection for Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Guru Kripa, Guru's mercy, it is essential. And Guru Nishta, faith in Guru, it is the backbone of all kinds of bhakti. You ever heard this?
So many times. Gurudev.
Yeah, it's one of Gurudev's favorite statements, that Guru Nishta is your backbone of bhakti. Why would Gurudev use the term backbone? because your backbone is what supports your whole body. If you don't have a backbone and a strong backbone, you'll just collapse. That's why he used this term, that Guru Nishta is the backbone of bhakti. So when Raghunath Das Goswami received the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, at that time, when he received that mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, all his problems, all his obstacles quickly disappeared. How did he receive Lord Nityananda's mercy? Yeah. He approached Lord Nityananda at Panihati from a distance. And then one of his associates of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, oh, there is Raghunath. And then Lord Nityananda called out to him, you thief, you thief. Look at how you're coming, stealthily like a thief, in a sneaking way. Come here, I will punish you now. Nityananda Prabhu. So then Raghunath Das Goswami came forward. And then Nityananda told him, you will have to pay for your offense of being a thief. Why did he call him a thief? Why did Nityananda call Raghunath Das a thief? Why?
Krishna Shakti, without the mercy of Raga, Das Goswami, we cannot get Raga and Krishna.
No. Why did Nityananda Prabhu call Raghunath Das Goswami a thief?
He was trying to approach Mahaprabhu without going through Nityananda.
But who is Mahaprabhu the property of? A thief is someone who tries to steal your property.
So it's Nityananda.
And Mahaprabhu is the property of Nityananda. So, Nityananda Prabhu is telling him, you're trying to bypass me, you thief. You see? So then he made him pay a fine. And what is the fine? You know? You know the story? No? Okay, Nityananda was sitting there and he had hundreds of different associates sitting. He was sitting under a big banyan tree on the very bank of the Ganga. Okay? It's just, as you go south from here toward Calcutta, the Ganges flows there, and there's a place there called Panihati. So in that village, some of Nityananda Prabhu's associates were living, like Raghava Pandit and others. So, so then Nityananda Prabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, knowing that he's the son of very wealthy persons, the son and the nephew of Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya and Govardhan Majumdar. And everybody knew them because they were the biggest landowners in the whole area. Supremely wealthy they were. So now their son has come. But you know that before Raghunath Das Goswami met Nityananda Prabhu at Panihati, did he meet Mahaprabhu? Yes. He did meet Mahaprabhu. And when he met Mahaprabhu at Panihati, I forget where it was, Ramakeli, I think, in the village of Ramakeli. No, I'm forgetting. You remember? Exactly where? Anyway, he met Mahaprabhu, and then at that time Mahaprabhu gave him some very important instructions. What did he tell him? Don't become a monkey. You know that?
Yeah. I think he said to him that he should be thinking internally about Krishna.
No, but why did he say monkey?
Oh, he said monkey.
Why did he call monkey?
Because he was like trying to be something which is not really.
He used the term markata vairagi. A vairagi is someone who is a renunciate. And Marakata is the word for monkey. Marakata Vairagi, a monkey renunciate. So, why did Mahaprabhu say that to Raghunath Das Goswami? Because a monkey renunciate is a very false renunciate. Because monkeys, we know monkeys very well. Especially if you live in Vrindavan. Here they mind their own business, but if you live in Vrindavan, you got to be really careful of the monkeys. Because why? Because they'll steal from you at any chance that they get. Any chance. And they'll swoop down so fast and take whatever you have in your hands. Yes. This is a big sport that goes on daily in Vrindavan. Huh? Have you ever seen that? Yes. Have you ever been a victim of it? Yes. All right, so, Marakata Vairagi. Monkeys don't even dress themselves. There's a kind of renunciate who's called a Nagababa. And they go naked. They're a type of yogis that live in the Himalayan mountains. And they're quite capable of living there without clothing and all. So they're very intensive yogis. But the monkey is also a Nagababa. It doesn't wear any clothes. Do you ever see monkeys dressing themselves? No. Do the monkeys look for some place where they can live and try to construct a hut that they can live in? No. They don't make any preparations like that. So it looks like the monkey is very, very renounced. But if you watch what they do all day long, from morning till evening, then you see that it's all false renunciation. They're always trying to steal. They're always engaged in having sex, continually, non-stop. Monkey existence. So in this way, Mahaprabhu said to Raghunath Das, don't become a Marakata Vairagi. Don't be a false monkey renunciate. You should go back to your house. Because at that time, Raghunath Das, having seen, Mahaprabhu, now seeing him, he just wanted to leave everything and just go with Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu wanted to use Raghunath Das Goswami as the example for all future Vaishnavas, that he would show the pathway, how the Vaishnavas can actually come. What will be the successful pathway for them to traverse so that they may successfully come from the lower stages of bhakti, enter into the path of pure bhakti, and so forth, and come up. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he is called a Prayojan Tattva Acharya because he showed the pathway by his own life example to the attainment of the final prayojan, the ultimate prayojan of Krishna Prema. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he went back by the instruction of Mahaprabhu, and for 1 year, he lived like a materialistic person, looking after very carefully his household affairs, this, that. But internally, what was his mood? Because Mahaprabhu also told him a verse, that just like a lady who has a husband, but she's also started a relationship with a paramour, right? And she doesn't want anyone to know. She doesn't want anyone to discover because that will ruin everything. But she has this relationship with a paramour lover besides her husband. And her husband doesn't know, and all of this, family doesn't know. So such a lady is externally very careful to continue performing all of her duties for the family and so forth. But internally, who is she thinking about? That lover. This example was used by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a shloka where he's telling that this is the way that you should be with Krishna. That outwardly, you should show that you're doing your, but inwardly. And what would that accomplish? then the parents and the family, they would be very peaceful and confident. Yes, Raghunath, he is doing what he's supposed to do in his family life. So, you know, whenever Gurudev would mention the story of Raghunath Das Goswami, and he would mention about how he was the son of such wealthy persons, he would say that his wife, he had a beautiful young wife, who was like who? Thank you. Gurudev said it every time. She was more beautiful than Miss Universe. But he had no attachment at all. He had no attachment. His parents were so loving and affectionate, but he had no attachment. He had qualification to leave home, but Mahaprabhu wanted him to demonstrate. So for 1 year he lived like that. Then what happened? After following Mahaprabhu's instructions, and at that time, the parents were very, they were also worried. They were always worried that Raghunath, he does not really appear to have any attachment, real attachment. So they always kept guards watching him, surrounding him, that he would not try to escape. Yeah. So now, when he came to Lord Nityananda at Panihati, then Lord Nityananda said, "You are a thief, but I'm going to punish you, and here's your punishment. I want you to hold a huge festival and finance a festival for all the Vaishnavas. And you should give them chira dahi." Chira means flat rice. You know, rice that's already somewhat parboiled, you know, but you just have to soak it, and then it becomes, it expands. So he wanted the chipped rice festival made with yogurt and condensed milk and fruits and everything, and have a gigantic feast to feed thousands of people. That's his punishment. So Raghunath became very enthusiastic, and he assigned the persons who had come with him from his home, okay, now go and go to shopkeepers and everywhere. And then shopkeepers from everywhere, in all directions, they started to hear about this festival. Oh, Nityananda Prabhu is having a festival, and Raghunath Das, he's going to provide, you know, a wonderful festival of chipped rice and dahi. It's called Chira Dahi Festival. So they came from all directions, hundreds of people. There wasn't even space for them to stand on the land, on the bank. And so it's described there very nicely, just about how they had these gigantic, you know, pots, many pots. And these gigantic pots were filled with dahi, with yogurt, many of them. And many were filled with condensed milk, not just milk, condensed milk, okay? Huh? Yeah. So then all the fruits and everything, mangoes, papaya, banana, everything. They were all cut up. Hundreds and hundreds of people were engaged in preparing everything. And now, after soaking half of the chipped rice in the yogurt and then soaking the other half in the condensed milk pots, now they began to add sugar and gur and so many wonderful fruits and everything. Camphor. So now everything was ready to offer. Who did the offering? Who offered all of this to Krishna? Who offered it? Nityananda. Who did Nityananda offer it to? Mahaprabhu. Did Mahaprabhu come and eat it?
Yeah.
Mahaprabhu came without being seen by everyone except for one or two people. and Nityananda was putting in Mahaprabhu's mouth. So now they began to serve. They began to serve hundreds of people, and each person got 2 bowls for 2 hands. So they got 1 bowl with the yogurt and 1 bowl with the condensed milk. And there was no place to sit or stand, so some of them, they just went into the Ganga and stood up in the Ganga, like that, yes. And so then, as they were eating, and there were also so many persons sitting, and so Nityananda and Mahaprabhu, unseen by the other people, Nityananda was doing all kinds of movements with his hands, and nobody understood what is Nityananda doing. So after this festival, and after everyone had sumptuously been fed, and also Raghunath Das Goswami, he gave a certain amount of valuable coins, like gold coins and so forth, to all the prominent Vaishnavas who were there. And according to Raghava Pandit, who knew each and every Vaishnava, he gave a list of persons who should be given this amount, and then persons who should be given this amount. Everyone was given donations and everything, facilities. So in this way, Raghunath Das completely fulfilled Mahaprabhu's desire and Nityananda Prabhu's desire. And then what happened as a result of that? Then Nityananda called him to come forward. And Nityananda put his lotus feet on Raghunath Das's head. And from that moment, all of his impediments and all of the obstacles disappeared. Yes. So, back to Gurudev's. So, Gurudev has been saying here that without the mercy of Guru, and that's Nityananda, you cannot have love and affection for Krishna or for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Guru's mercy is essential. Guru Nishta is the backbone of all kinds of bhakti. So when Raghunath Das Goswami received the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, all his problems and his obstacles quickly disappeared. And he was able to leave home to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gurudev is talking about how, by performing bhajan in one's own house, while still living with one's father, mother, wife, and husband, it is one kind of bhajan. It is a type of bhajan. But that kind of bhajan, it cannot give the fruit of love and affection for Krishna. One day, you will have to thoroughly give this up. So the first symptom of real bhakti, achieved by the austerities of chanting and remembering Krishna, what's the first symptom? Causeless knowledge and detachment from this world. You will surely become renounced. Whether you are in worldly life or whether you're in the renounced order. If you are chanting seriously and perfectly, then renunciation is bound to come. We have heard that when Guru Nanak, the saint in India who founded the Sikh religion, when he was young, his father told him, go to the market and bring back the ingredients that we need to sell at our shop. So on the way to the market, he came upon many Vaishnavas and many sadhus, and then seeing that there was no management of prasadam for them, Guru Nanak, he saw all these Vaishnavas and he saw that there was no management of prasadam for them. So he quickly went to the market. And he bought all the paraphernalia that was needed to make a festival for them. What did his father tell him to do? Get all the things that are needed for our shop. But then he did that. And for that purpose, he spent all of his father's money. And then he later returned home empty-handed, and his father asked him, "Where are the ingredients I told you to buy? The rice, the dal, the ghee, and other things." Then Guru Nanak replied, "I did the shopping, but I have given all the goods for the service of Vaishnavas. In this way, I have done some very good shopping for my future life and for the benefit of my whole dynasty." He had so much strong belief in Krishna. He knew that if one serves Krishna, Krishna will give him everything he needs. We do not have this same belief, Gurudev is telling. We do not have this same belief. And therefore it is even very hard for us to give a penny. Some persons can give some of their wealth, but he gave everything, Guru Nanak. Now, because Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was chanting and remembering Krishna, having been spiritually brought up by Srila Haridas Thakur, because when he was a baby, Haridas Thakur would come to his house, and he would hold him in his lap, and he would say, "Chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna." So to have Haridas Thakur hold you in his lap and tell you to chant Hare Krishna when you're a baby, what's going to happen to you in your life? You're going to become a great Vaishnava. So having been spiritually brought up by Srila Haridas Thakur, and also having been initiated by Sri Yadunandan Acharya, a personal associate of Mahaprabhu, so some good effect it was bound to come. He became detached from the world, and he considered Krishna to be his father, he considered Krishna to be his mother, and he considered Krishna to be his everything. All tattvas, all the established philosophical truths, they came into his heart. And he quickly left his home and his beautiful wife, who was, oh, here it is. He was the only son of his father who was as wealthy as a king. And his wife was as beautiful as Miss Universe. As who?
Miss Universe.
So it would have been very hard for an ordinary person to give up such luxuries, isn't it? Then after leaving home, Raghunath Das did not travel on the main road. Do you know how he got to leave home? Because Krishna made a certain situation occur. That his guru came, and there was a pujari of a temple that had left his service, and Yadunandan Acharya came to bring Raghunath Das there to the temple and to help to settle this matter. But along the way, but because Yadunandan Acharya was going with him, so all of the guards and everything, they didn't go along. And this was also in the evening time. So then, as they went along there, they came to one point, and Raghunath Das stopped. "Guruji, I'm going now." "Guru, yes, you have my blessings." So, Raghunath Das, after he left his home, he did not travel on the main road. Because he did try to leave before, and they could always follow him and capture him, because he went on the main road. So now Raghunath Das, hiding, he went on the village route. He did not eat anything except some little bit of puffed rice and some milk. And a journey that would take 1 month, it passed quickly in 12 days. Can you imagine how he was running and weeping and calling out, "Gaur Mahaprabhu." So at that time there were no trains, there weren't any cars, but he ran quickly without taking any time even to bathe. When he came in Jagannath Puri, he did not go to see Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. He came directly to the assembly of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was surrounded by many associates, like who? Sarup Damodar, Roy Ramananda. And then someone told to Mahaprabhu They said, Raghunath has come. And Mahaprabhu quickly embraced him. And he said, O Raghunath, you have just come from the ditch of stool. So, sometime before that, Mahaprabhu had told him to return home. But now, Mahaprabhu said, all worldly life is like stool, and Krishna is so merciful that he delivered you, and you have come out from that house. So Mahaprabhu then placed him in the hands of Sri Swarup Damodar. Placed him in his hands. And who is Swarup Damodar? Lalita Devi in Gaur Leela. So he placed him in the hands of Swarup Damodar. And now as Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he began a transcendental life. Always hearing from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from Sri Swarup Damodar, from Srila Rupa Goswami, from Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Vakeshwara Pandit, Gopal Guru, and Srila Haridas Thakur. So the life history of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is one of the jewels in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And moreover, much of what Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he had heard it from the lotus mouth of Raghunath Das Goswami. So try to remember his life and character. If you do, then a power will enter within you, and you will be able to become a devotee like him. Whether you are in worldly life or in renounced life, try to be like him. We cannot be like him without help, and therefore we pray to Nityananda Prabhu to help us. Gaur Premanand. So this is what Gurudev told in one article, very synopsized form, of Raghunath Das Goswami. But if you will allow an extra 15 minutes, I'm going to read you the nectar that Gurudev told in another darshan, which goes into the most essential topic for all of us. How to follow Raghunath Das Goswami, how to do bhajan in his moods, how to hear his Vilapa Kushamanjali, and how to hear his prayers, and how to apply that in our own spiritual life and in our bhajan. So if you would like to hear that now, then we can read it now. But I'm not forcing. Only if you approve that we take some extra time, because I've gone quite long. But that's completely, the ball is in your court.
Is this a Bengali 15 minutes?
I don't know. Okay, let me just... So, this is also the same, it's actually called, it was spoken in Orlando, Florida, by Gurudev on February 6, 2003. And Gurudev gave such a beautiful introduction on this, about Vasanta Panchami, and what Vasanta Panchami is like in India. It's so beautiful, and connecting it with Radha and Krishna's transcendental moods, and then also mentioning how this Vasanta season is the time when Krishna dances his Vasanti Rasa dance. So now Gurudev says today is also the birthday of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. It can be said that he is the Siksha disciple of Sri Swarup Damodar, and that he is especially the Siksha disciple of Srila Rupa Goswami. He has written many stavas and stutis, many hymns and many prayers in glorification of Sri Sri Radha Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has also glorified all of the sweet pastime places of Vrindavan, like Radha Kund, Shama Kund, and Govardhan. He was always remembering all the pastimes of Sri Sri Radha Krishna, and his life is full of love and affection that the Manjaris have toward Srimati Radhika. He is fully dedicated to her as Rati Manjari in the pastimes of Radha Krishna. And in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. His character is so high that it is impossible even for an exalted devotee to touch the dust of his lotus feet. So Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he wrote Sri Vilap Kusumanjali, which expresses a deep separation mood and all varieties of love and affection. He has shown what a sadhak should do if he wants to enter the sweet pastimes of Krishna, especially in the love and affection of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. When I was reading this morning, I was remembering how before I left America a couple of years ago, then we had a class every night reading Sri Vilap Kusumanjali. All the videos are there on Facebook because we recorded all of them live. And they're so inspiring classes. Reading the shlokas composed by Raghunath Das Goswami, how he begged and prayed and wept. Vilap means lamentation. And his moods of attachment in the mood of a manjari, serving Srimati Radharani specifically, and serving Radha and Krishna in very special ways. And that really is the essence. So here, Srila Gurudev is telling this back in 2003 in Miami. So that Raghunath Das Goswami, he wrote this Sri Vilap Kusumanjali. And this expresses a very deep separation mood and all varieties of love and affection. And he has shown what a sadhak should do if that sadhak wants to enter the sweet pastimes of Krishna, especially in the love and affection of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So if a sadhak wants to understand these topics, he must read Sri Vilap Kusumanjali and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's other stavas and stutis. What did he tell Gurudev? If a sadhak wants what? To understand these topics, what must he do? Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
There are many.
He wrote also Vrajavilas Stava, which is a couple of 100 verses, glorifying Braj Mandala and every personality and everything in Braj Mandala, worshipping like that. So many. Now Gurudev is saying, how glorious is his life! Exclamation mark. How glorious is his life. He is the embodiment of vairagya, of total absorption in Krishna prema, wherein one automatically forgets the world and automatically forgets all the needs for sense gratification. He's the personification of that, the embodiment. The scriptures tell us that our vairagya, meaning renunciation, it should not be markata, like that of a monkey. He doesn't go into that here. He said we should not follow that type of renunciation. If we want to have pure love for Krishna, in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we must follow Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And we must offer everything to the lotus feet of Guru and Bhagavan. Then Krishna will then be merciful to us and sprinkle us with his highest love and affection. Otherwise, this will not be possible. We should always remember this. And we should determine, I must follow Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Sarup Damodar, Sri Roy Ramananda, and Sri Gadadhar Pandit disappeared, when they disappeared. Can you imagine? Raghunath Das Goswami had lived with them for 17 years. 17 years before they departed this world. And suddenly, very quickly, they disappeared. At that time, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami became totally maddened in separation and wanted to give up his life by jumping in the Yamuna or jumping from the top of Giriraj Govardhan. Why not in the ocean of Jagannath Puri? Why not giving up his life there? The ocean is very deep. It is deep enough to have drowned in. But he wanted to be touched by the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis, which can be found only in Vrindavan. So Giriraj Govardhan is very merciful. He assists Sri Krishna in his various pastimes. And Yamuna Devi, she is Srimati Vishaka Devi. So they can both of these, Giriraj Govardhan and Yamuna, can easily give gopi prem. So Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami, when they saw Raghunath Das arrive in Vrindavan in that condition, they saw that he was totally maddened in love and affection, in the mood of separation. They behaved towards him as one would be to a younger brother. They told him, Raghunath, if we thought that we could achieve Krishna Prem by giving up our lives, then we would have easily done that, very easily. But that is not the way. You should engage in the proper practices for attaining Gopi Prem. Then they gave him a place at Giriraj Govardhan, specifically at Radha Kunda and Shamakunda. And he remained there for the rest of his life. He continually wept bitterly, and there he regularly used to write his prayers. When Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami left this world, Das Goswami became still more restless and overwhelmed. Because Raghunath Das Goswami stayed many years in this world after Rupa and Sanatana left. So in that restless and overwhelmed condition, he looked at Giriraj Govardhan, and he saw that Giriraj was like a python, and that Radhakund and Shamakund were like the gaping mouth of a tiger, ready to devour him. This is how he was so upset in intense separation. No one could have written as he did. So now Gurudev is going through some of the shlokas. Here's the shloka that he quotes first from Vilap Kushumanjali. Towards the beginning, Shri Rupa Manjari Kararchita Pada Padma Gostendra Nandana Bhujarpita Mastakaya Ha Modata Kanaka Gauri Padaravinda Samvahanani Sanakais Tavakim Karishye. O Kanaka Gauri. What does Kanaka Gauri mean?
Radharani with
Golden complexioned girl. So he's praying to Radharani, who is Kanaka Gauri. And he is saying, when you are laying with your head in Krishna's lap, and your feet, you're laying with your head in Krishna's lap, and your feet are being served by Rupa Manjari. When she is massaging your feet, O Radhe, will Rupa Manjari, with the corners of her eyes, give me her Mahaprasad Seva of gently massaging your feet while she is fanning you? This is actually getting more near to the end of Vilapa Kusumanjali. 72, verse 72, out of 104 verses. Now, Gurudev is describing this prayer. What is the vision of Raghunath Das Goswami? Radha and Krishna, when they playing together, they become tired, and Srimati Radhika lies her head upon the lap of Krishna so that she may take some rest. He caresses her head. Krishna caresses her head, wipes away the perspiration from her face. How glorious this is. Sri Rupa Manjari is massaging her, and Rati Manjari is fanning her. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is praying, when will I be so fortunate that Rupa Manjari will kindly bestow her mercy upon me and will say, come on, take some remnants. Here, remnants means the remainder of the service that was begun by Rupa Manjari, the massage that she was doing. And hearing the prayer, Rupa Manjari quickly gave her remnants to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in his transcendental gopi form. And later, when this pastime disappeared from his vision, then realizing the mercy of Sri Rupa Manjari, Raghunath Das wept bitterly with a melted heart. And then he wrote, Padabjayos tabavina varadasya meva nanyat kadapi samaye kila devi jache sakyayate mama namostu nityam dasyayate mama rasostu satyam. O Devi, O Radhike, I am not praying for anything other than the most exalted direct service to your lotus feet. Time and again, I offer my pranam to your sakitva. That means the position as your saki. I'm offering my pranam to that position, but I swear that my unwavering devotion will always be only for your dasitva, the position as your servant. Then on another occasion, Raghunath Das Goswami wrote, if Krishna comes to me and he says, you may have any benediction, what do you want? Then I will say, who will say? Raghunath Das Goswami, as Tulsi or as Rati Manjari, also named Tulsi Manjari. But then, in his gopi form, he will tell to Krishna, if he comes and asks for any benediction, then he will say, I am not like Prahlad Maharaj. No, I want a benediction. Because Prahlad Maharaj He told the Lord Nrsingadev, I don't want any benediction. But Raghunath Das Goswami is telling Srimati Radhika, Oh Radhika, I want a benediction. I don't want to be your Sakhi. I offer millions of obeisances. I offer millions of obeisances to the lotus feet of Sakhis, like Lalita and Vishaka. But I don't want to be a Sakhi like them. I want to serve you. Like Rupa Manjari and the other Manjaris, I want to serve you. I want to be happy in your happiness. And in your separation mood, I will weep and I will think how to console and how to assist you. So Raghunath Das Goswami has prayed, O Nath, Krishna, O my Lord, Natha, O nectar moon of Gokul, whose lotus face is very cheerful and who smiles so sweetly. O you, whose heart is soft and melting, waiting to bestow mercy on all. Wherever you go to enjoy loving pastimes with your beloved, please take me there. And please allow me to render confidential service to you both. This is one of his last prayers in the whole Vilapa Kushamanjali. And he's telling that to Krishna. I only want to go there, where you will enjoy loving pastimes with your beloved Srimati Radhika. So Gurudev is telling that the meaning of this is as follows. I cannot tolerate this separation, O Radhike. O Gokula Chandra, O moon of Gokul, take me very quickly to the place where your Radhika is staying right now and engage me in her service. Otherwise, I will die. This is serious. Raghunath Das Goswami is directly saying this, that if I cannot any longer tolerate this separation. So Krishna, Gokul Chandra, O moon of Gokul, take me very quickly to the place where your Radhika is staying right now and engage me in her service, otherwise I will die. And without her service, I don't even want you. And I don't want Vraja. I don't want anything except this. And if she is in Dwarka with you, if that's where she is, then I want to fly there. I do not want to go to Dwarka, but if Radhika is there, then I will want to go. And if you, Krishna, if you are with Rukmini, Satyabhama, and all your 16,000 queens, I don't want to go there. I will never go. If you request me to do so, I will reject your proposal. But if I hear that Radhika, my master, my Swamini Ji, if I hear that my Swamini Ji, Radhika, is there in Dwarka, I will very quickly fly there to serve her. So this is his mood. And finally, this verse. This is the epitome. This is at the very end of Vilapa Kushamanjali, verse 102. There's 104 verses. This is the final thing that Raghunath Das Goswami says. He says, Asha Barair Amrita Sindhu Mayai Katanchit Kalo Mayati Gamita Kila Sampratam Hi Tvam Chet Kripam Mai Vidasyasi Naiva Kimme Pranayar Vrajena Chavaroru Vakarinapi. Here Raghunath Das Goswami is praying to Srimati Radhika. He is addressing her in this shloka as Varoru. Varoru means, O girl with beautiful thighs. He's telling It is decidedly only with the hope of obtaining the nectarine ocean of service unto you and obtaining the vision of your transcendental pastimes that I have been able to maintain my life thus far with severe difficulty. It is only by this hope that I'm holding on to that I have been able to maintain my life thus far with severe difficulty. But if you are not merciful unto me, even now, right now, then of what use to me is this life? Of what use to me is residence in Vrajadhama? Or even Sri Krishna himself? So Gurudev is saying, the meaning of this is, I have been hopeful that one day I may be able to serve my Swamini Radhika. But now if that hope is not fulfilled, I will give up my life if I cannot have Srimati Radhika's service. I don't want even Sri Krishna, Govardhan, Radhakund, or anything else. This is the exalted love and the affection of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. So, in ending this, Gurudev says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj prays, Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jar Ash, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das, at the end of each chapter. He says, I am writing this Chaitanya Charitamrita in order to get the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. I only want to please them. Then Narottam Das Thakur has written, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoy Be Akuti Kabihama Bujhabose Jugala Piriti. When will I eagerly follow the path of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami? When? And by their instructions, then I will be able to understand the divine love of Sri Radha and Krishna. And he said, Narottam Das Thakur said, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Mor Ash, Prarthana Koroi Sada, Narottamo Das. My only aspiration is to attain the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. This is Narottam Das's constant prayer. So all the pure Rasik Vaishnavas of our Guru Parampara, they all want to serve the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. But we cannot simply jump to that height. We should start from the beginning. First, we will have to follow the life and the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. So today, it is also the disappearance day and manifestation of Rupa Goswami as Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he, as Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he repeated the same teachings taught by Sri Rupa Goswami. That love and affection of the gopis, called Upapatibhav Paramur love, is the highest stage of love of God. Without his contribution, the flow of the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami would have stopped. He kindly came and received these understandings in this world. Then, Gurudev, with this statement, he said, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Ki Jai. So, we have heard today two separate glorifications by Srila Gurudev of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and so many other glorifications of the prominent personalities who are we remembering today. I think we covered almost all, if not all.
Just Raghunandan.
No, we mentioned.
Vasanti Leela.
What? Basanti Ras. But that's That's a separate class entirely, and for that we're going to have to start reading, which I would love to do, is to read the book. Do you know the name of the book that describes the entire springtime rasa dance of Krishna and Radha and Krishna at Govardhan? That's where it takes place, in the springtime, not in the autumn season.
Is it an under?
What book describes that Ras Leela? Gita Govinda, Jayadev Goswami. We have that. So I want, in these classes that we're giving and discussing these subject matters and all others connected to this, I want ultimately to come to that, because that is the pinnacle. And the difference, just to mention only one thing about the Vasanti Ras. In the Ras Leela dance, which is described vividly in the 10th canto in 5 chapters, that's called Ras Panchadhyaya. So that is called the Rasa dance of the autumn season. The what?
Saradiya.
Yeah, Sharadiya. Sharadiya Ras. So, but in that Rasa dance, someone leaves the Rasa dance. Okay? But now, in the Vasanti Ras, someone also leaves the Rasa dance. There's a big difference between who's leaving and who's following. You know? So in the Sharadiya Rasa, who's leaving the Rasa dance? Krishna. But does he leave it alone? By himself he leaves? No. Because all the gopis who are dancing in the Rasa dance, and they suddenly realize Krishna's gone. And also that other gopi, she's also gone. That special gopi. But they don't come to the conclusion yet that Krishna has taken that gopi. And then they start searching through the forest. There's a whole chapter of how they're searching everywhere. And they're asking the trees. They're asking the birds. They're asking everyone, have you seen Krishna? Has he come this way? They're searching madly. They're in such maddened condition that they're remembering each and every one of Krishna's pastimes. And they're performing like reenactments of his pastimes. The gopis are taking on different characters, and one is taking on the form of a demon, like Putana, and another gopi is taking the form of Krishna. Not outwardly, but they're inwardly. They're imagining this, you see. But they're actually seeing this pastime. So anyway, finally they come and they see one place where they find footprints. And they say, oh, there's 2 sets of footprints here. One slightly larger, one smaller. Oh, that person, Krishna's walking with a gopi. And then they start to identify that gopi is the most fortunate gopi. Because Krishna has taken her with him and left us all behind. So she must have a higher qualification in every single possible way than us. Then they suddenly notice that only one set of footprints are there remaining, and then there's the other set that has disappeared. And then they understand, oh, Krishna has lifted her up and he is carrying her. So then they walk a little bit further, and who do they find? They find that gopi, because Krishna has left her there. And now she's weeping in separation. And they cannot even estimate the depth of her separation in comparison with theirs. So this is just a little bit of the Sharadiya Ras. And everything is beautifully managed by Yogamaya. And everything, the whole Rasa dance is brought to a whole nother level. And the gopis sing their ultimate song, the Gopi Geet. All of that takes place because Krishna takes Radha with him. But in the Vasanti Ras, in the springtime Ras, there are special gopis that are dancing in that Ras. And in that Ras, Radha and Krishna are also dancing. And Krishna and the gopis, and they're undergoing all the beautiful, beautiful, sweet dancing steps and singing and all the musical instrumentation. Everything is going on in the highest way that has never been witnessed before. Do you know that the moon planet, Chandradev, where they were dancing next to Giriraj Govardhan, the moon was awestruck. When the moon saw this dance taking place, and he became paralyzed. He could not move. The moon stood there, and the sense of time was expanded because our earthly time is much different than higher planetary systems' time. But how long did the rasa dance actually go on for? That place called Chandra Sarovara, there's a lake there, you can go there. And the moon stayed there in the sky, and they danced for a whole night of Lord Brahma. Millions of years. But they only felt it to be a short time. So Krishna arranged that, Yogamaya arranged that. And in the midst of this dance, suddenly, Krishna noticed, where's Radhika? She's not here. He looked around. Radhika's not there. And now, all the other gopis, everything stopped. And they also realized. What did Krishna do? Did he stop and discuss the matter with anyone? Instantaneously, Krishna left also to find Radhika. This is used by Jayadev Goswami, and it is quoted by our acharyas in Chaitanya Charitamrita and other shastras. This is the praman, this is the evidence that Srimati Radhika and no one else can satisfy Krishna. No one can compare even one iota to her. So the Vasanti Ras is very glorious, and this is Vasanta Panchami. The fifth day, when the first day of springtime begins, and we are sitting here in Sri Navadvipdam, and we are hearing these glorious topics from the lips of the pure Vaishnavas. So we are praying that causeless mercy will shower down from all of these personalities upon us, that one day, in this life or future life, that we will actually begin to become very, very serious and will attain the qualification of becoming completely detached from the things of this world and completely attached to Krishna, completely attached to bhakti, completely attached to all of Krishna's associates. And in this way our lives will become perfect. So Gaur Premanandi, Jai Shri Vasanta Panchami ki Jai, Jai Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pada ki Jai, Jai all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. 2-minute kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Sachidananda Jaya Gaura Hari Sachidananda Jaya Gaura Hari Nitai Hai Gaura Hai 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Prem Anande Hari Hari Gaur Nitai Gaur Prem Anande Hari Hari Gaur Nitai Gaur Prem Anande Hari Hari Gaur Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sachavachai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glories to the devotees who stayed for the whole class. All glories to all the devotees who stayed for more than half the class. Thank you very much that you stayed when I was able to properly complete this. Otherwise, how I can do? No. Guru Dev ki jai. Jai Guru Dev, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki jai. Jai.
Recognize that's the song was the first Swami used to make one Chaitanya.
He was the what?
The
First
Goswami.
of the
To
Goswamis?
meet Lord Chaitanya.
No.
At the age of 15, he came to Shantipur after Lord Chaitanya had taken sannyas.
He came at the age of 15 when?
After Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, and he was at Shantipur. And when he first saw Lord Chaitanya was there.
Where did you read that? From which book? No, but who told it? Who is this article speaking from?
Three separate, well, I just Google searched.
Yeah.
That's got something.
But who's the speaker of this?
Yes, I'm not sure, but three separate
Oh.
ones I looked at. They all did the same thing, three separate ones.
Okay. Anyway, I'll look at it later. You can also, maybe you can also share it and send it to me.
Yeah.
And I'll study.
And Odan Shasti was in the middle of December, when Lord Jagannath starts the West Start.
In the middle of,
Middle of December.
yeah.